Hi everyone, it's me, Arielle, and it's Wednesday Warriors. And today I don't actually have a question. I have more of a statement, a topic, you can call it, that I'm going to be elaborating upon. And the topic is stopping pretending and starting to be real. You know, you can kind of make up your own little mantra and tell yourself each day, stop pretending, start being real. And it's just a statement, and it's just a statement to yourself. But statements to yourself can be a lot more powerful than you think. I still give myself little pep talks sometimes. One thing that I really hate is driving. And no matter how much my anxiety has improved over the years, I consider myself not an anxious person any longer. I used to have severe anxiety problems, but no matter how much my anxiety has improved, I still have anxiety about driving. No matter what I do, when I have to make a long trip by myself, which I do fairly often, I have a best friend that lives in a different state. Whenever I have to get in a car and I have to drive, I'm afraid of getting lost, I'm afraid of getting in an accident. Just the very act of driving alone somewhere for a long distance, it makes me really anxious. And I have to give myself a pep talk, and I do it out loud in my car, and I sit there. Sometimes it comes out in the form of a prayer, saying, please get me through this, please let me get there okay, please let me make it to my destination. Sometimes I just say, you can do this, you're not stupid, you're smart, you're going to make it there. And I just tell myself a lot of positive things, and it really does help. You know, you couple that with some deep breaths, and it does work. As long as you believe that it can work, it can be very helpful. Okay, but stopping to pretend and starting to be real. Be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, first and foremost, you're not going to be able to be honest with other people. You're not going to be able to go out in public in certain situations and be involved in different scenarios and be honest. You're not going to be able to put your best and truthful foot forward if you're not honest with yourself. If you're fooling yourself about something, if you're in denial about something, you're not going to be able to be real with anybody else. And that's something that you have to think about first and foremost. If all you can bring yourself to say would be a lie, say nothing. It's okay. It's okay to say nothing if all you can think of is something that is not quite the truth, something that is just said to make you feel better, to make somebody else feel better, to make your situation seem different than it really is, to make your eating disorder appear as if it doesn't exist. Just say nothing. Someone asks you a question point blank, you know, you can say, I don't know, or I don't feel like talking about that right now. I hope you're okay with that. People get so scared about being honest with other people that they think when they're honest with other people that they have to somehow spill their guts. Honesty doesn't mean spilling your guts and telling someone your life story and every gut-wrenching detail and secret. That's not what honesty is. Honesty is being honest. Honesty is not lying. Honesty is being truthful. You can be a silent, honest person. You can be a very quiet, honest person. Simply telling somebody else, I don't feel like talking about that right now, I hope you're okay with it, is a perfectly honest response. And if you're ever ready to divulge more information, then that's fine, and that's up to you. Sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. And I have said this before in different videos on my blog, if you've actually spoken to me. But as far as this whole thing about pretending and starting to be real, I would suggest you pretend the opposite. If you are right now pretending you're fine, you're pretending to your friends or your family members that you're okay, your eating disorder isn't that bad, you're pretending to eat but you're not really eating, you're pretending to gain weight but you're not really gaining, whatever it might be, turn it around, flip it, and pretend to be recovering, pretend to be gung-ho about everything that's happening, pretend to be positive. If you don't feel positive, and, if you pretend to do it, it is really helpful because you might start to believe it yourself. Sometimes pretending isn't as bad as people think it is. Now, I'm not talking about lying. I'm not talking about flat-out lying and about saying, I'm getting help when you're not getting help. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you sometimes on your bad days, you don't really want to get help. You don't really want to recover. But a part of you does. trying to get that help anyway, trying to help yourself, trying to be enthusiastic about it even when you don't really feel like it, trying to be positive even when you feel negative. If you do those kinds of things, it does something to your inner being. It really starts to make you be conditioned. If you have grown up being told you're stupid or you're fat, you get conditioned to believe those things. You can make yourself believe the opposite as well. If you tell yourself that you can get help, you're worthy of help, you're going to recover, you're fine, you're positive, you're okay, you will be okay. I mean, it's not just like with a snap of a finger you're going to be okay just because you're telling yourself this every day when you wake up. But it's definitely a step in the right direction. Sometimes you really do have to fake it till you make it. A good way to stop pretending and start being real with yourself and others is to take it slow. You don't have to tell everyone everything right off the bat. You can start by telling one person one thing that you've been pretending about before. And then it gets easier with everything that you tell someone, with every person that you tell, with every person you stop pretending with. It does get easier. So take it slow, one person at a time, one thing at a time. If you want to start with one person and stick with that person and slowly begin to come clean, stop pretending, be more real, they'll appreciate it. Everybody appreciates a real person. Do you appreciate a person who's real with you, or do you appreciate a person who's continuously pretending with you? I think we all know the answer to that. I'm an ANAD eating disorder support group leader, which many of you already know, but ANAD has 8 steps, and it's not something that is set in stone and sort of a process the way Alcoholics Anonymous is or anything like that, but there's just 8 core things that go along with ANAD's philosophy, and when I read them, I very much think about somebody learning to be real, somebody learning to stop pretending, and that's what this topic is all about. So I thought I'd read you the 8 ANAD steps, and ANAD stands for Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders. And they have to do with many eating disorders, not just anorexia nervosa by any means. And these steps can be applied to your eating disorder, and it's all about honesty. It's all about putting forth something that's real. It's all about learning to be real. 1. Admit to ourselves that we have an eating disorder. 2. Recognize that food and weight are not real issues, but that other underlying problems in our lives have led to our obsessions with food, eating, and weight. 3. Make an honest attempt to identify the problems underlying our eating disorder. 4. Acknowledge that self-starvation and/or binge purging are not offering a healthy or satisfactory solution to these problems. See, as you can see, this is all about someone coming to terms with something. This is all about being honest with ourselves so that we can seek to get help, so that we can be honest with other people around us, so that we can move forward. You can't move forward unless you're being real. 5. Accept the responsibility for changing our own lives and applying more appropriate methods of coping with problems. 6. Realize that we do not have to struggle alone to overcome our problems. We can accept the caring support of others and the guidance of spiritual strength. 7. Establish small individual goals aimed at changing our unhealthy attitudes and behaviors, and begin working seriously toward their achievement. 8. Reinforce and sustain our personal growth process by reaching out and helping others struggling with eating disorders. I think those 8 steps are excellent and are very well written, but I also think that they have a lot to do with this topic about learning to stop pretending and learning to be real. So I hope you guys can take something from that today, and I hope you all have a great week.